6 decades after the communist takeover in Czechoslovakia, 4 decades after the Prague Spring of 1968, the Czech Republic is again confronted with its most recent past. The state-funded Institute for the Study of Totalitarian Regimes, which opened in the beginning of this year, is in the centre of an extremely polemical debate. The Institute gives access to millions of pages of secret police files, but the Communist Party objects that no party members are allowed to join the Institute's council. Left-wing opposition deputies asked the Czech Constitutional Court to abrogate the law on the basis of which the new research tool has been established, accusing the Institute of a biased right-wing interpretation of contemporary history. EuroNews invited the Institute's director and the chief advisor of the Communist Party to fight it out. Manipulation of the past.
The Communist Party of Czechoslovakia lost 1/3 of its members in a tough fight against fascism, which was the most cruel form of totalitarianism. How is it compatible with the fact that you are not allowing the communists to participate?
For me, our institute covers the whole period, even the period of Nazi occupation, and for me, from 1948 until 1989, it was the same Communist Party. It was almost the same system. Even during Prague Spring, still exists Central Committee of Communist Party, which tried to run the society.
One thing I should reject completely, that's the comparison of the socialist system, which was here before '89, and Nazism. That's too much for me. The science starts with questions. That all of us can ask proper questions, and then we seek for the response. And my feeling, I'm not alone in it, is that this is a different, quite a different story. I mean, that we want to impose certain political blueprints, on the course of the history.
I think we can compare it with the situation in Germany after 1945. It took also one generation to discuss, to start a deep discussion about the problem, what can we do with our past? What can we do with our mind? And really discuss on the facts, not about the propaganda.
Could we also put, let's say, questions which should be responded in such a research? For instance, where were the origins of the Cold War? Why did it start?
I think you will be surprised. I can find the result or the point which was ended of the Cold War in 1917. In a revolution in Russia. Bolshevik revolution.
Let's come to the most hot and most painful part of '68. Let me come to this point. That's the 21st of August, let's say '68. As far as I remember from the official documents from the beginning of the 70s, there was 71 victims of all kinds, which at that time. Believe me, I was a very young guy at that time. The death of each and every person here is a moral trauma for me as well. But let me remind you something else. That time, the US were, let's say, waging the war in Vietnam. The war in Vietnam costed 3 million lives of Vietnamese and around 50,000 lives of the American soldiers. Were there any carpet air raids on Czechoslovakia in '68? Were there napalm, let's say, air raids thrown? So what is totalitarianism? If not carpet air raids on the other end of the world?
We can follow the black book of communism, and we can count the whole victims of communist era, and the historians they are talking about tens and even more millions of victims since 1917.
Their key problem, be it in Poland, be it in East Germany, be it in Romania, Bulgaria, and so on, is the troubles they face today. And they understand more and more that a very arbitrary interpretation of the past is an instrument of, let's say, trying to bring them, to the problems of today. Depriving people from free healthcare, in fact. Depriving them from a guaranteed retirement fund system. Depriving them from many other things. So that's the key problem of reflecting the past, not opening archives. Let me repeat, and I'm absolutely in favor. If we can open all the archives.
We get in the same position like other post-communist countries, but we, after the years, followed very slowly our colleague in Germany, which established the first institution about working with the files, or for working with the files. Then colleagues in Poland, Slovakia, Hungary. And I think the debate is almost the same. You know, left-wing parties are against it, sometimes strongly, sometimes not. Right-wing parties are for opening the past, opening the discussion.
As you know, around 70% of the people in Charter 77 were this or that way cooperating with the state, STB as it is called in Czech, which means secret police. I mean, sure, I mean.
You probably don't believe me, but I'm not the man of conspiracy, so I don't believe this.
That's good that you are not, but that was the problem. That was the problem.
I don't think so, no.
In such a case, why couldn't we see the files of certain personalities of
What
the
kind
November
of
Revolution?
I will tell you, I can give you the key, and you can follow me to that place where was the archive set, and you can follow. You find it.
You want to tell me that the files?
There's no secret.
What happened with this Fund Z?
It's normal part of our archive of the security bodies. I can give you the index of these materials. It's open. It's open.
I'm sure that those who were happy with the Prague Spring '68 would not be happy. I mean, with what is happening in this country nowadays. They would be really sad, and they will feel frustrated because the goals promoted that time were totally different from those who are effectuated now.
Don't forget on a Soviet or Russian imperialism. This is a result of 1968 for me.